Hello there! I'm still in a cold. I have two things to tell you. Thing number one is that there's something going on with my lips. They're like tingling and they look red, but I assure you I'm not wearing lipstick, okay? Christmas is done. There's no time to slay, okay? Let's get gay. Do I cut it out? Do I? Squid Game is the second thing. I'm a Squid Game fan. I like season 1. I thought it was good. I even quite enjoyed the challenge, the game show from last year. Sue me. Please don't, actually. These are tough times, and I feel like that might actually happen in the way that things are currently. But Squid Game Season 2 came out, and I was sure of one thing. You know, going into Season 2, I was very sure of one thing, and that was that this was gonna suck. It wasn't gonna be good, and there's no way that they could make it good. And I'm happy to say it's not bad. It doesn't suck. It definitely doesn't suck, and I do think it's worth watching if you're a fan of the show, but I don't think it holds a candle to Season 1, which, you know, obviously, you know, it was ever going to hold a candle to Season 1. But the things that I do like about the show are, for example, they could have just done the games again. They could have just run the games again with different characters, different games, etc, 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 and they didn't. They actually decided to take a slightly different approach whilst balancing in some of that stuff from, you know, the games and the new teams and stuff like that, all of those dynamics. Though I would say that this season focuses a lot more heavy on vengeance and morality and the relationships between all of the characters in the show. This was a big part of Season 1. The big part of Season 1, not the vengeance part. The big part of Season 1 was, you know, the inter-workings of the people in the game show. How do people feel about other people? What effect does that have on other people's lust for money? So on and so forth. I think that has a stronger focus here. And I think part of that is knowing what's going to happen going into it, because you've seen Season 1. You're already sort of aware of what people can be like, and they really play on that. They play on the notion of like this cyclical presence where these issues that arise when you introduce these catalysts will kind of always be similar in a certain way, and that the repetition is inevitable. And you know, when people stab one another in the back for one reason and then they're presented with the same reason, it's going to happen again. Or rather, a different party are presented with the same reason, it's going to happen again. They're going to stab people in the back in the same way. And part of the show, part of the strength of the show, is the lead character realizing that and sort of almost like finding this intersection between his opinions and his notions and the opinions and the notions of the bad guys. We're going to get into spoilers here, by the way. I just thought I'd tell you there are going to be spoilers in this review. I can't review this show without them, okay? 3, 2, 1. There's an episode where everyone strips naked and has lightsaber duels with their cocks. Don't believe everything you hear. There's definitely a sense that like the lead is realizing that, yeah, the whole point of the team is treating people like animals. You know, they feel that the poor are beneath them, and because they don't have what they have, they deserve less, and that they should be playthings for the rich and just used for entertainment because they mean so less, and therefore they deserve so less. And the lead character is doing everything he can to prove that that isn't the case, and that they're humans and they deserve human rights. Though at the same time realizing how cyclical all of this is, and how everyone is kind of the same and sort of interacts with things in the same way. However, there is a feeling from the writers that they're also trying to impart that on the bad guys and on the lead bad guy who makes a show in this, in saying that, yeah, but you behave in the same way, you do the same things, we are all the same, and we do all respond to things in the same way, but that's irregardless of whether you're rich or poor. And I like that. I think that's really good. What I don't like is how it ends. I don't like how it ends. Allow me to present to you the soundtrack to the final episode. Okay, close your eyes. Spoiler alert ahead. Close your eyes. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. We've got no mags. No mags. We need to get some mags. Pow, 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 pow. If you turn around at any point in the last episode That is what you will hear. That is what you're going to hear from that episode. It turns into like Call of Duty, which is ironic, and I just wasn't a fan of that. And the whole Avengers thing, like, it was so unintelligent, and the first season ended so well. It was like open enough, and yet he did close a chapter, and there was a decision, and it was really good writing. I really liked that ending. It's part of the reason I like the show so much. And this one, it was just like, here's a gunfight. Pass me a mag, dude. I'm out of ammo. Go, go, go. It was genuinely like that. It was the most American thing I've ever seen, and it came from a Korean TV show. And that kind of overall is the issue with the show. Sometimes the writing does feel a little too overt, too on the nose, and characters will just like, I don't know, it feels so American sometimes. It's like, you're my buddy, man. You're my friend too, dude. And I know part of that can be the dubbing. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one watching this, so I didn't get to choose. I would have chose the sub, but it was a dub, and part of it is the dubbing. I know that you can't help that. You could have got some less Americana actors, but you know, it is what it is. But the script just feels it. The script feels like very on the nose, and you know, some of the things just feel a bit silly. Like they're SAS troops who are supposed to be experts who open a random hatch and like lean into it, and of course one of them dies, but they're supposed to be SAS experts. Why would you open a random hatch on an island? And I was also able to predict every single thing that happened in this show. Every time I'd be like, oh, he's gonna vote to leave. Oh, they're gonna do that. Oh, yeah, they're going to do this. And a lot of the characters I didn't like. Even the ones that were supposed to be unlikable, I didn't like the approach to making them unlikable. Thanos is just cringy as fuck, dude. Calling everyone senorita and like rapping in the middle of one of the games. Oh, it hurt to watch. I just wanted those scenes to be over, and not in a good way. And like the guy who kisses his ass. There's a character who's like supposed to be sweet, but he, you know, like backstabs this girl and she begins to forgive him, and then he leaves her for dead. There's no redemption for that character. He is just a prick. And I didn't really like that. It felt kind of empty and kind of hollow. Some of the characters I do like. I like the lead, always will. I like that actor. I think he's very good. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I like the trans character. I thought she was very well performed. I enjoyed her performance. And it's nice to like see a genuine, wholesome character in this show. They're so rare. Either they're incredulous and nice, or they're racist and nice, or they're, you know, something, or they let someone die or something like that. This character is genuinely a nice character, and I know a lot of people complaining about the idea of a trans character being in there. It makes total sense to me. They want to pay for their surgery. That's motivation. It's motivation in the same way that paying off your debts is a motivation, or buying a car or buying a house. It's a motivation for wanting to win the money. I don't see why that's an issue for people. It just blows me away. I don't know why it's a problem. There's a lot more of that in this season, and it is a lot more black and white in terms of good and bad in this season, to the show's detriment. Okay, I could keep talking about it for a long time, but I think honestly I should put a score on this. I wish it was higher, just a little bit, but it's definitely worth giving a shot. I don't think it's a bad show. I don't think it sucks. Do prepare yourself for a bad finale. It is a bad finale, but it leads into part 3 or season 3 or whatever, so you know, there is that, but it's definitely a cliffhanger ending, so don't expect anything conclusive from this show. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Squid Game season 2. Can't wait for season 3, and I'll see all of you later.
The PlayStation's only $149, and you can also get leading titles.